The world is wrong. We tend to take for granted that everything we see, every physicality we see, every scientific proof, statistics, it is the ultimate truth to explain everything, to explain the universe. And we just go all around the universe looking for the meaning of life, for what love is. Is love something? It's an energy you can measure. How do you know if you love someone? I'm sorry, but science, as much as it's an amazing thing for being more comfortable and for practical means, like recording this video, still deeply for yourself, for finding the truth, it is not as useful as it may look at first. Everybody will think that, yeah, how you find the truth? Well, science. Predictable theories that can predict how things happen in certain conditions. Science. Well, you probably already know that science changed its mind continuously. And actually, at this moment, if you go into the edge of new science, you will blow your mind. Because what they say doesn't have to do anything with the concept of reality we have. So it actually, let's say, for example, quantum mechanics or physics or all these edgy sciences that go a bit strange in their statements and discoveries, but actually they're just saying exactly the same thing that the sages have been saying through all history. This is just a new way of going back to the same discovery, the discovery of reality, and that is not done with your mind. So that's where science or this video with these words, actually, it is limited. It means nothing unless you actually do take the step to investigate it yourself with your direct awareness in this moment. Start questioning everything you see, and not in a negative way. I mean, questioning everything you see in the sense that, for example, understanding that whatever screen you're using to watch this is based on a concept. Your eyes and your ears are just basically just getting raw data. It's like 1 and zeros. Doesn't make any sense. It's your brain who's making sense of that. And how does it make sense through it? Well, with your mental conditioning, imagination, concepts, words, signs. They are not the truth. And if you will see how we operate on a day-to-day basis, you will realize that we are constantly not seeing things. We are reacting to our own concepts of things. So it could be stated right from the beginning by psychology and anyone who is really looking forward to be objective in the sense of trying to find something that is the ultimate truth. You will realize we live constantly in a dream they create for ourselves in our thinking. That's why it's so important to disentangle your attention from thinking. You could be watching this video. You don't need to think about what I'm saying. This is not a philosophical exercise. I'm actually trying to invite you to start considering that this moment you're living right now is the only moment. The concept of time is just a concept. And as much as it may look practical in a sense, it's just practical inside of the conceptual reality we are living in. There's more than that. This is not reality. The ultimate reality, it is already there. And it's transcending all the laws of physics or any science we could imagine, or any concept, any religion, any belief, any statement you could say. All that could be at its best pointers. So there's value in that. I'm not saying disregard science or religion. No, please do. Use it. Use it for what? To discover what is not changing, what is the ultimate truth, what has been true and will be true forever. And you can only find that if you directly observe What? Well, you're observing the world, right? Or at least you're trained to observe, to watch this video, discern colors, sounds, words, and think about what you're going to be doing later, thinking about your goals, your motivation, the state of health of your body. We're conditioned to do that already. So yeah, you do that to some extent, although we are just managing our own concepts about it. But okay, you're sort of aware of that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to live as an adult, right? But so when we're talking about observing the truth, it's like, can you track your mind? Can you track the movements of your own attention? Because you're getting distracted all the time. The mind is like a water sprinkler. It's just like, it's crazy all the time. It doesn't make any sense. It's unstable by nature. So you never find to a point that you say, okay, this is peace. I made it. I figured out the world. Figured out the ultimate theory to explain everything in the world. Now, you cannot do that by using your mind. Then what you do? Well, how do you get out of your mind? You say, I can't stop thinking. How do you get beyond your own conditioning? Well, observe it. And if you are interacting with this interface of your own concepts, your memories, and your ideas about the world, you first need to see that interface of concepts to start having a chance to see beyond your own color glasses on how the world is. Can you do that? It requires a lot of courage. Probably is the most brave thing anyone can do. And yet it's not the doing. You just relax. You don't need to stop your mind. Your mind will stop. And there are ways to actually sort of speed up the process, but still, you don't need to do anything. You don't even need master. You don't need anyone really to tell you. I'm just tapping into what you already know. So it's more about just stop doing the thinking, in the sense of retract your attention beyond it. So one middle step in that is to observe your own mind. If you're able to observe your own mind all the time, you will start seeing the patterns. Like, say, okay, I'm just misleading myself. And that is what we call suffering. It's all a mistake in the mind. It's contradictory beliefs. It is ungrounded ideas. That's why direct observation, that's why any kind of meditation is, one way or another, leading you to this moment, to the closer to reality instead of being on the unstable paradigm of your own mind. Just be here. Maybe land in your senses. That's a stop you can take in there. Just, can you see this video instead of understanding it even? Can you just hear it? Can you see it? Can you feel your body? Can you feel your breath? Can you relax so much that you're just alive? Can you stay there? How long? How long can you just relax and be without jumping into, oh yeah, I know? No. That's again mind activity. And it disrupts your natural well-being. That's how we go out of our natural peace. By disrupting it, by exclusively locking our attention, entangling our attention into our mind, which it does push it forward into the interpretation of the senses and the world. But the world we are seeing is an interpretation. So that's what the title of this video is. Just not that I'm trying to be tricky. I'm actually trying to say something useful. So if you can just rest in whatever it is, the truth of you right now, just trust that it is there. It is true. You don't have to do anything, not even to discover. It's the very fact that we're trying to look for an answer. Is the restless part of our mind. I need to know this, that. It's actually getting you out of it. So if you could trust If you could just for a moment let things be, you get closer. You can even feel how your mind start resting and how this moment start becoming more manageable, peaceful, depends on where you're coming from, which inner experience you're coming from. But it just start landing into something you will describe as a sort of like, oh yeah, it feels better. You keep on resting. There's this temptation of following the mind. That's what we do all the time, to disrupt our peace, our eternal grounded peace on the truth of what we are. And that can only be discovered by resting. Resting beyond your mind. Can you rest so deeply that you don't think anymore? And where you are there, look for the truth. Look for the most stable, transcendental sense of truth when your mind, it is not active, or it's just in the background, just making some noise in there, but you know you're not entangled with it. Only when you're resting in that grounding of your attention, of your awareness beyond your mind. You don't need to even mind about your mind. Just rest in what you are. And when you're there, that's the moment when you ask yourself the question. Not necessarily an intellectual question, obviously. I say this because, for example, many traditions, for example, in Advaita Vedanta, use inquiry, which means like asking, who am I? What is this that is observant? You're trying to go backwards from your own conditioning of your mind backwards. So it is a question, yeah, but it's a pointing. In Buddhism, they use vipassana, which is, not to want to go deeper into these topics, but the Buddha sort of discovers certain essential points you need to understand in a practical sense in your experience to understand the truth. That's called vipassana. And in many of the schools of Buddhism, when they mean vipassana, they mean, it seems a bit analytical, but it's not actually analytic, and it's pointing you out of the mind into reveal the essence of reality, to understand, to be able to discern what is irreal, what is just irreal, right? Yes. How do you say that in English? Anyway, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean. Just when you are beyond your mind, there's one last step you can do to reinforce. So just not resting in a very comfortable state, just look for what it is there that has been always there, that is in every experience, no matter how colored it could be. And it's so present that makes your mind, the world, the distinction of different things, and the whole time of human history, of the evolution of the universe, be contained into an unlimited presence.